The third customer who knows my name without being told is when I start to panic. But the one standing before me now knows about the scar on my lower back. The one hidden beneath my clothes that even my parents don't know about. "Tomorrow's the anniversary," she whispers, her eyes never blinking. 10 years since the accident that gave you that mark." My hand instinctively touches my back as ice fills my veins. The fluorescent lights flicker overhead, and in that millisecond of darkness, her face changes, becomes something hollow and wrong. When the lights stabilize, she's closer to the counter, though I never saw her move. "You shouldn't be here when it happens again," she says, sliding a crumpled receipt across the counter. It's dated tomorrow, with my name listed under employee death. 3 days ago, I was desperate enough to take the night shift at Last Stop Gas. 12 hours alone, from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., at a station 15 miles from the nearest town on a stretch of highway where traffic thins to nothing after midnight. "Last guy quit without notice," the manager said, avoiding eye contact as he handed me the keys. "Some folks find it too quiet out here." The pay was better than I expected, suspicious in hindsight. He showed me the ancient register, the security camera that recorded to a loop-worn VHS, and the panic button that connected to a police station 20 minutes away. "Probably won't need it," he said. "Nothing ever happens here." Then he left me alone as darkness settled over the empty parking lot, the highway beyond humming with diminishing traffic. That first night passed without incident. I restocked shelves, mopped floors, and fought to stay awake in the buzzing fluorescent silence. The occasional trucker or late-night traveler would stop for gas or coffee, barely making eye contact. Human interaction reduced to mechanical transactions. I found old newspapers in the back room, all with strange headlines about local disappearances. Time stretched like taffy in the emptiness between customers. Outside, the darkness pressed against the windows, broken only by the harsh glow of the price sign. I tried calling friends to pass time, but reception cut in and out mid-sentence. By sunrise, I'd convinced myself this job would be monotonous but bearable. I drove home with the windows down, music loud, shaking off the residual loneliness of the place. I didn't notice the dark sedan parked across from my apartment watching. My second night started normally. I counted the register, checked inventory, and prepared for another shift of mundane isolation. The first customer arrived at 9:17 p.m. A middle-aged man in a crisp suit. Odd for this remote location. "Evening, Alex," he said, though I wore no name tag and hadn't introduced myself. I assumed my manager had mentioned me. He bought nothing, just used the restroom and left. At 11:46, a teenager with unnaturally pale skin entered. She wandered the aisles silently, eventually placing a single red candy on the counter. "The highway takes more than it gives, Alex," she whispered. "It remembers everyone who passes through." She left exact change and walked into the darkness. Not toward a car, just into the blackness beyond the lot where no one would reasonably go. My unease deepened as I realized neither had I heard their vehicles arrive. At 2:13 a.m., when the highway had been silent for hours, the door chime rang. A truck driver entered, his face shadowed beneath his cap. "Coffee black," he said, then added, "Must be hard paying those student loans for a degree you never finished." My hand froze on the coffee pot. I'd never mentioned my financial situation or dropped out status to anyone here. He smiled, showing teeth too uniform, too white. Environmental science, right? Second-year dropout. Correct details no stranger could know. When I didn't respond, he leaned closer. Highways full of paths not taken. He left a 20 for a $2 coffee and walked out. The security camera showed him climbing into his truck, but the parking lot view showed no truck, just empty asphalt gleaming under the lights. By 3 a.m., I was checking the door locks repeatedly. I tried calling my roommate, needing to hear a familiar voice. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service," an automated voice responded. "Impossible. We'd spoken yesterday." I tried my parents with the same result. The store phone's cord stretched taut as I paced, trying other numbers, all disconnected. Panic rising, I noticed the store had grown colder. My breath fogged in front of me, though the thermostat reading hadn't changed. The security monitor flickered, showing a lone figure standing in the center of the lot, watching. I squinted at the screen. They wore what looked like my jacket. The camera angle shifted slightly, impossible for a fixed camera, giving me a clear view of their face. My face, staring back at me with empty eyes. When dawn failed to arrive at the expected time, I checked my phone. 6:47 a.m. Outside, the sky remained pitch black. The clock on the wall read 3:23 a.m. The time hadn't changed in hours. I heard a car pull up and watched an elderly woman shuffle toward the entrance. My hands trembled as the door chime announced her arrival. "You look just like your grandmother," she said immediately. My grandmother died before I was born. I'd only seen photos. She passed through here too, back in '76. The woman's eyes reflected the fluorescent lights like an animal's. She made the wrong choice. She placed a faded photograph on the counter. It showed this same gas station, decades earlier, with my grandmother behind the register. I never knew she'd worked at a gas station. "The highway keeps what belongs to it," the woman whispered. The elderly woman left without buying anything. Minutes later, another customer entered, a man in a raincoat despite the dry weather. "Hello, Alex. Trouble sleeping lately? Those nightmares about drowning keeping you up?" My mouth went dry. I'd never told anyone about those dreams. He smiled at my expression. "The highway knows what we fear. It shows me too. Every night, I see myself burning." He wandered the aisles, humming tunelessly. I noticed water dripping from his sleeves, though it wasn't raining. "You should check the back room," he suggested casually. "Something waiting for you there." After he left, I stood frozen behind the counter, staring at the stockroom door. Something scratched against it from inside. I knew I'd locked it earlier. I knew no one else was in the store. The scratching continued, growing more insistent. That's when the third customer arrives, the woman who knows about my scar. As she slides the receipt with tomorrow's date and my death across the counter, I notice other names listed below mine. Previous employees, dozens of them. Some names have been crossed out. "What is this place?" I finally ask, my voice barely audible. "A threshold," she answers. "The highway needs souls to maintain itself. Gas stations like this are collection points." She taps the receipt. "Some of us refused our role. Others accepted it. You'll make that choice soon." Outside, I see headlights approaching, more customers. Their faces press against the windows, dozens of them, all watching me. I recognize the previous visitors among them. They're all connected to you, she said. Family who died before you were born. People you'll never meet now. Versions of yourself who made different choices. I don't understand, I stammer. But part of me does. This place sits on some kind of intersection, not just of roads, but of possibilities. The woman's face shifts again, revealing features that mirror my own beneath her skin. Highway maintenance requires souls, she repeats. One employee death per year keeps the road safe, keeps reality intact along this stretch. The others outside begin tapping on the glass in unison, a rhythmic pattern like rainfall or a countdown. Previous collectors chose their replacements carefully, she continues. Your grandmother chose your mother, who would have chosen you, but she escaped her shift. The security monitor flickers to show my mother as a young woman, running from this very store. The highway's been waiting for a Morrison ever since. It doesn't like to be cheated. The stockroom door burst open. Inside isn't the storage area I organized earlier, but a vast expanse of highway stretching impossibly into darkness. Headlights approach from the distance within the room. Every car that passes contains someone who died on this highway, the woman explains. They drive forever unless someone takes their place. The rhythmic tapping intensifies. Tomorrow night at 3:33 a.m., a truck will crash outside. The driver will survive if someone is here to help him. If not, he dies, joining the highway. But if you help him, you take his place in the cycle. She holds out a key, not to the store, but something older. Lock up before that time, walk away, and someone else dies instead. Stay, save him, and you're trapped here forever. That's the choice. The faces at the window watch expectantly. As if to prove her point, a truck roars past outside, the driver's face illuminated for just a moment. It's me, eyes wide with terror. Then another vehicle, my mother at the wheel, then my grandmother. We're all connected to this place, the woman says. Your family has been intertwined with this highway for generations. I realize now why my mother never discussed her parents, why she moved us far away, why she warned me never to work night shifts. The phone rings, startling me. When I answer, I hear my own voice on the other end. Don't make the wrong choice. The line goes dead. All the customers have vanished, leaving me alone in the store. The receipt with my name remains on the counter, the ink now fresh and wet, as if just printed. Outside, the darkness seems alive, pulsing. The highway calls to me. I understand now why the job paid so well. Morning comes, and I drive home in a daze. I should quit, but something pulls me back for my third night. Each car that passes seems to slow down, the drivers turning to watch me through the windows. At exactly 3:32 a.m., I hear the distant scream of truck brakes failing. I have seconds to decide. The highway has chosen me as its collector, its caretaker. If I walk outside, I save a life but lose my own to this place forever. If I lock the door and hide, someone dies, and the cycle continues until another Morrison is found. I think of my mother, how hard she fought to escape this legacy. The truck's headlights illuminate the store as it careens toward the gas station. I reach for the door handle, then hesitate. The key the woman gave me sits heavy in my pocket. Time slows as I make my choice, knowing that either way, the highway will claim what belongs to it. Don't face the horrors alone. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you want your nightmare seen, email it to stories@hallowcroft.com.